I'm on. I did not, again, put out the word that I am live because I'm still stuck using an iPhone, and as soon as I know I keep saying this, my studio setup, we will be doing that. I have to find bookshelves, a comfy chair, and then a TV set to put in the area that I want to have it, and then we can go from there. Anyway, let's talk. So last night, Cameron dropped the 411 that Han Solo Harrison Ford showed up on the IMDb listing for episode 7 of Boba Fett. And then I looked on my IMDb Pro account. Black Pills, I know you don't have an IMDb Pro account. And he's there. He is that, and let me explain something. Only insiders can change that. So guess what? He's there, okay? Now go suck your thumbs. Rose. Schnell. Anyway, and I want to give a shout out to Mazarus. He's got an issue he's dealing with right now, so get better soon, bud. Anyway, we've been predicting it for a long time. This is a pretty easy prediction to make. If they were going to put Luke and Mando, they were going to put Han in one of the shows. I thought it would be Boba Fett. I kind of had the idea it might be Andor. He might still show up in Andor just because that is, they didn't use him in Rebels. Leia was in it, and then you saw Luke from far away, I think, in an episode, and Obi-Wan was in it, but not the lead characters. You gotta look at these stories as running parallel to the main story. And I just got a text from Cameron. So, hey, Jonathan. So, when you see these guys in passing, you got to understand there's another story going along. And it might not be the story that people who've been working on Star Wars, who haven't had its best interest at heart, created, okay? That memo that I'm going to mention in a minute was pretty much, we're not doing this anymore, okay? And if you're a Patreon of Cameron's, go read it, do it now. If you're not, go on Patreon, find Cameron Pasha and subscribe, because you get a real insider's look at what is going on there, and it's fascinating. Anyway, so this wasn't a hard thing to predict, Han showing up. Just which show was he going to show up in? I think we're going to see all three of them in Ahsoka. But that's not the memo I'm talking about. This was an inside memo, Joker voice, that basically invited to people, and it's hard to explain what it is for, but it's basically an employee invite, and also kind of saying where they expected the company to go. And there was Bob Iger did a great job, yada, yada, yada. But it was pretty much, did not mention Wokistanian stuff. It mentioned being more concerned about the investors and the people with money, and that's where the power is. I would want the Black Pills to actually understand that, and there is at least one who does, but he just doesn't want to give up the negativity. I mean, I can't imagine being married to somebody that miserable. So, but anyway, I'll talk about it in context about Kathy too, because it's very. Yes, look, this all trickles down into the subsidiaries of of, you know, all these people. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. I think you're right about that, Vicky. But anyway, yeah, so he's back. All right. Predictions are coming true because they have to. One of the reasons why I look at the black pills like and etc. is because they're not attuned enough to the importance of money. All right, they must think that, like the SJWs, which they are. In fact, we're all caught in the middle between them and the SJWs. All right, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Okay, that's pretty much, there you go. They don't understand how important the investors are. They don't understand how important it is for the investors to get dividends, which Disney has not been paying because they have no money. Ha ha, Joker. That was a song, and they don't understand that the market rules. The market is the only thing, okay? The market is God, kneel before the market. Gary, Ryan, Jeremy, etc. And eventually, these, black pills are going to fizzle out because they're not seeing where the market is going. They're not, excuse me. They're not, no, God. They're not seeing the trends. The thing about, let me explain Elon Musk. Elon Musk is one of those huge intellects that sees trends going on before anybody else does, okay? And the trend right now in Hollywood, and I think Afterlife almost more than Spider-Man. You're right, yeah, exactly, Joker voice. Is dictating now, and not just because not because of box office, because the merchandise sales, because the money that can be made lucrative chances. I mean, to make obscene amounts of money on merchandise, which Disney has not realized with the sequel trilogy. I mean, and anything else, except for Mandalorian and the original trilogy characters and even the prequel characters, okay? And the books, the story group, and it doesn't matter if it's Stoned Republic or not, they're not selling either. Again, the reason why we're seeing these changes, even though Coke bottle glasses and the guy who didn't graduate high school, who used to like TLJ till he found out he didn't like it because no one else did. The market is dictating what's going to happen next, and Chapek and Arnold see it. They see decades of fan abuse, of customer abuse, which should be a crime. They see collectors and people who would buy the stuff not buying it, not wanting the books. Not that people read books anymore anyway. And by the way, the circle jerk goes, I doubt any of them have a third grade reading level, okay? But the market is dictating a different direction now. And that's why we are seeing language about we are going to let the customers come first. We are going to put the shareholders first. Okay? The market is dictating where this is going. This is economics, and you got to have an understanding of that. Why was, you got to ask, hey, Baz, hey, Grandmaster Jim, you got to ask yourself, why was the Solo thing late? probably to take a narrative point away from the black pills. Okay, watch for more stuff to be leaked to take their narrative away. There will stuff that comes that they won't like to hear because they predicted against it. That is going to come out. They're going to sit there. They'll move the goalpost back. Oh, you got to read it. You got to read it. They'll move the goalpost back because they want to keep their narrative, and yet the narrative is now being taken away from them. They didn't think Han would be in it. I already see naysayers go, yeah, but Boba Fett, ugh. You know, they're always going to go back. Hey, Anton. They're always going to come back and say something like that because that's their narrative. Okay, it's, you know, that show on Friday should be called CNN Lower Decks. It really should, because that's what it is. It's the view of the fandom. It really is. I mean, you know, that is not a compliment, by the way. Okay, I am literally like, you guys don't realize that your ideas are dying right now. Well, because then they can talk about it. You know, Mazuris had an idea. If you're done with Star Wars, then don't talk about it. Yeah, it does make sense. It really does make sense. Then, you know, but again, I don't know. Anyway, but if they aren't interested, then don't talk about it. There are plenty of good Star Wars channels out there. Geetsley's, Eckhart's Ladder, Stupendous Wave. You know, I don't have to listen to their bullshit, and I'll bug them about the they circle back to the ST all the time because they're not. I think to those channels, the ST isn't canon, is going to be very difficult for channels like that. But still, you get to talk about lore. You get to talk about this and that and the other thing. And there are other, like the Rebel Force Radio is good too. Yeah, I mean, that's a good channel. You're right, Ben. So if these big channels, with their, the one who's like the Pablo Hidalgo of the fandom menace, we know who that is, and their, just constant narrative of bullshit, keep going, fine, go to someplace else. Go to EBN, go to Midnight's Edge, go to, and subscribe to Cameron Pasha's Patreon, all right? The reason why I'm saying that simply is this. It's very important to now to come to a decision that we need to just do what we want and ignore them. And because they don't have the narrative anymore. And it's slowly but surely being taken away from them. This Han Solo news is a big thing, and they're gonna move the goalpost back, which is what they do. Well, that's the thing. I think a channel that will talk about a Star Wars lore and not talk about the sequels, and there are some I've really seen very little, which and of course, look, those guys, the Black Pills, want it to. Again, this is money to them. This is them thinking, and again, I mean, we got one dork being called the Mangold Slayer. He didn't do it. He didn't slay anybody. He made a fool of himself. He made an absolute ass of himself. Then there's nothing to glorify him for. Okay? I mean, you know, here's the deal. If you haven't, again, I've said this before, I'll say this again. If you left Hollywood in 2012 and never had anything made except for a short film, you are not an insider. And I can say that about myself. I am not an insider on Capitol Hill. The moment I left, I lost all my contacts. I don't know what's going on. You know? And I'm like, you know, oh, he was a Raylo? When I'm done, put that in the comments and explain who he was. Okay, don't put it up here. But you know, I can't speak with any sort of conviction about that. And the reason why is because I'm not there anymore. I haven't been there since 2000, you know, December 2003. All right? If you leave a place, you lose your connections and you lose a feel for the place. You use a feel for the chemistry. People come, people go. People make up the chemistry of a company and or an industry. And it's not where it was when that guy was there. He is not an expert, okay? And another thing, a lot of these guys are stuck on 2018, like they can't get past it. What did, you know, Qui-Gon Jinn say to Obi-Wan? Stay focused on the present. Stay focused on the here and now. Keep your mind on where you are, okay? They can't do that. Well, that's because they're the ones that know what they're talking about. Okay? You know, I don't understand any of this anymore. It is not kind of, I mean, what you know, it's who you know. You know, and there are a lot of those black pills like to say that Cameron doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not really that successful, and he has been. That Andre doesn't know what he's talking about, that Valiant. It's like, you know, what, where do you get off saying stuff like that? You know, they're stuck in the past. That guy's stuck in the past. We've got others who are stuck in 2018. All right? It's almost to the point where it's almost pathological. Okay? You know, and I don't get it. I really don't. You know, if that was the case, then Boba Fett would be gay and a woman. I mean, that was a rumor. If you guys remember that, they wanted to make him a woman. Okay? So instead, the story group created Afra. You know, and whom every true Star Wars fan hates. You know, I got into it with somebody on Echo Base Network's Facebook page, and I'm like, she's a trashy character. And I said, if the story group wants to make a story about her, then they should come up with their own universe that is not Star Wars and create it around her, okay? Keep that shit out of Star Wars. It is not because of, you know, she's LGBTQ. It is because she doesn't belong there. Her reason for being there doesn't have anything to do with what a character like that can bring to the franchise. It's because she is a representative and a projection of what the story group thinks they want to see. It's not what we want to see. It's not what George would want to see. Okay? It's like, you know, no one has a problem with a woman being in Star Wars. We have a problem with the social justice bullshit that goes along with Afra. You know, it's not merely that she checks a box, it's that she is a feminist, misandrist, lesbo, projection. Okay? That it does not belong in Star Wars any more than Holdo belonged in Star Wars, any more than those, at the end of the Rise of Boarwalker, you see those dykes in the background kissing. It's gross. It's not Star Wars. Kids don't want to see that. Their parents don't want to see that. Okay, and I blame Bob Iger and Kathy Kennedy forcing JJ to put that in there. Okay? JJ would yeah, I mean, I scrolled through Solo. What a shitty movie. Yeah, it's the Rise of Palpatine. That's what it is. JJ would quote the Satanic Bible if the suits told him to. Oh no. Oh, I broke my. Damn it! I broke this. Shit! I gotta get that fixed. He would. That guy would quote the Satanic Bible if they asked him to, and he would act like he believed it. He's about as disingenuous as it comes, too. Damn it. Shit. Well, I can fix that. Anyway, so, but they're stuck in the past. They're stuck in the past where it doesn't belong. And they don't even understand that even the past that they're so concerned about, these changes were already taking effect. All right? These changes were already coming. Especially after Solo came out and bombed. Well, that and, so much. I mean, he sits there and talks a good thing, but he can't, he doesn't, So, what else? Okay, let's talk about what the memo that Cameron talked about in his Patreon said. This was a thing about an investors meeting in March. Okay, so this is kind of a big deal. Okay, this is a meeting with the investors, mano a mano, face to face. And okay, what's going on here? He's gone now. Anyway, and this is important stuff that's going to come out there, and it's the language they used was 186 degrees from what it was in that letter last year. Okay, they're basically abandoning Wokistan. I mean, you'll see it. You're going to see warning labels on shows. Just like there were warning labels after Tipper Gore had a meltdown about MTV. Okay? Remember that? They had the House and Senate do conferences and meeting with the singers, and they testified. Dee Snider, the lead singer of he went up and embarrassed them. The lead singer of Twisted Sister, with that big blonde hair, went up there dressed as he was and embarrassed the shit out of Congress. Okay? No one cared about the warning labels. They were stupid. Okay? They didn't stop us from buying the records. They didn't stop us from buying CDs. So the idea, hey, John 42. Oh, well, we know that. And I think I think there's going to have to be a come to Jesus moment for them. Frank Zappa, John Denver went up and and testified. Yeah, I mean he was. I mean, but we got warning labels. They did it anyway, but no one cared. Okay, no one cared. It's like so. It's just there to appease idiots, you know. And what I find fascinating about the lead on you know MTV is evil. Look at what it's showing. The lead on that, Al Gore, Mr. Democrat, wizard, and his wife. I mean, Cinderella wrote a song about it. It's one of my favorites. Shelter Me, you know? It's just no one's going to care about that. Okay. You're going to see changes coming. And there's still woke shit in the hopper, but it's going to come out. No one's going to care, and then it'll go away. Okay. Now, how does this all affect Kennedy? Well, we saw the beginnings of We Want Her Out in that article about the children blood and bone. The fact that Doomcock reported and Andre reported because he'd been hearing it too, and that Cameron said, the board wants her gone. They want her gone. This investors meeting that's going to be in March is going to be when I think they inaugurate the board of directors. So we might actually see her leave. Maybe before then or maybe shortly after then. But I told everybody on Cameron's Patreon that my gut instinct says we're going to see a big resignation of somebody very soon. Okay? And watch the goalposts for the black pills get moved again. Okay? But they're going to lose the narrative. They're going to lose the narrative when it's reported that so-and-so and so-and-so have left. I think Pando is dead. One of those characters actually is dead. I think Obi-Wan killed one of them. But they're gonna move the goalposts. Okay? Just like they're already moving the goalposts, you can see it with Han showing up. All right? I told people the black pills are losing their narrative now, and they need to stop it. They need to let people enjoy this. Okay? Yeah, but I don't. Oh, they'll try. They'll try, but you know what? People will just walk away from that. Yeah, I did because I'm an insider on IMDb Pro. Because it's on IMDb Pro. And only insiders can do that. You want to try another one, Turd Burglar? Unless you have anything really insightful to offer, don't come here with that shit. Okay? I'm tired of it. Hey, Netters, how you doing? God damn. Do people believe everything that they hear? Unless it's, something that I say or Doomcock says or something else. I can see, one of the bigger black pills, the beard with the Coke bottle glasses, the TLJ lover, and the ginger-haired EU expert starting that rumor. I could see them starting it. Okay? All right? Do you honestly think they give a shit about, no, he is going to show up? What the, you know what? Turd, why are you here if you're going to bring that stuff up? Okay, I know everybody likes you, and that's good. But I'm trying to figure out what you offer the conversation beyond bringing up bullshit. When you didn't even know that no one can change and work with IMDb Pro unless they're actually have an account. Okay? Now, I can't because I don't have that type of account. Okay? I can't go to Harrison Ford's personal IMDb and change it. Okay? Because it's on his IMDb. It's right there. It's the listing in the filmography right under Indy 5. Hey Jay, how you doing? This is the muscle. Jay Kaido's in town. You know, and it's like, you know, I just go, I don't, why, what would you think? Why would you think? I mean, the fact that they don't even have enough respect for somebody to think they probably know what they're talking about. That's a weird thing to say. You know, I mean, I don't mind someone saying, yeah, someone's spreading this rumor, but turd burglar. Well, first off, I can't stand saying that phrase. I hate that. Okay? It grosses me out. No one asks a question like that if they know what they're talking about. Okay? And when I first got on here, I said that change was on IMDb Pro and no one else can change it. Okay? The only two entities that can change it is Lucasfilm and Harrison Ford. Okay? Or his people. All right? It's not, and whoever started that rumor can go, sit on it and twirl. That shit, those kinds of things don't fly here anymore. All right? Those things don't fly here anymore. I've learned. All right? The reason why I think that, I'm pretty sure that Doomcock and Cameron and Valiant and Mike and Andre are on the right track is because something has to change. Again, the market doesn't forgive. Do you not? Does anybody? Look, those channels don't know anything about economics. None. Okay? You know, it's basic economics that they're going in a different direction. All right? The fact that the black pills want you to believe, I don't know if they're all three gonna be together, Jay. I'm not sure. I know Han's gonna be in episode 7. Nothing about Luke in episode 6, but maybe so. Okay. But anyway, we're all sitting here pretty much, and the reason why we're here is because we know something has to. Something has to change, and it is changing. Whether you want it to or not, whether it fits. I know they did, and that's too bad because there are people that are black-pilled that don't understand that this isn't 2018. This isn't 2018. And it's like I look at this and go, you guys are stuck in the past. And I said this before on this thing. Turd burglar, listen to me. No one on IMDb can fucking change his IMDb. Okay? That is an IMDb Pro account that I got one of my entries in from my last video. IMDb Pro. And the only person who could go in there and change that is Harrison Ford or his people. Okay? Now I know you don't get it. I know you think I'm lying to you. You'd run back to Ryan Cannell and tell him, oh, okay? All right? Like he knows anything. All right? We have a bunch of buffoons shaping people's opinion. People who don't think for themselves. And they run to these places to find out what they all said. So then they can run around and think. It's like, you know what I call those guys? CNN's lower decks. That's what they are. You know, that's what it is. I mean, that's what that is. CNN lower decks. I mean, I can't even, okay? That was just an example, okay? That's just an example. You know, Pablo Hidalgo of the Fandom Menace. It's really interesting to me seeing how this is happening, but that leak was put out there to take away a narrative. And I've been hoping and praying that they would start doing stuff like this. So the naysayers and the crybabies and the people stuck in 2018, they can't get past it. We should be concentrating on the here and now. All right, just like Qui-Gon said to Obi-Wan in the Phantom Menace. Keep your mind on where you are and what you're doing now. Doesn't matter what happened before. This is a thing we have to deal with now. Okay? And the future is always in motion. We don't know what that has. There's a reason why, you know, the Catholic Church eschews, fortune telling and, you know, all the rest of that stuff. You're right, Anton. Be mindful of the living force. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. And the reason why is because the show has been trashed by a bunch of illiterates. Let me put it this way, and I'm gonna wind it up. Hi, Kenny. I hope we do somewhere. I would like to see a teaser for Obi-Wan. God, now what was I gonna say? Shit. Oh yeah, okay. So a lot of these people who are not well versed in film history and what inspires creators like to compare this to, you know, Boba Fett to Dances with Wolves, because of the banthas are kind of like buffalo, bison. It could not be a worse analogy. And when you tell them that, they sit there and mock you like you're stupid, like you're not allowed to. How dare you? You know, okay, have you ever seen a movie called, you didn't have to do that, Troy. He's fine. You didn't have to do that. I'll take care of him. There's a movie called A Man Called Horse. Go look it up. Richard Harris was the star. That's true, John 42. And it's about an English lord that goes out to the Great Plains to hunt buffalo and hang out like he's on some grand adventure. He gets kidnapped, captured by a band of Lakota Sioux Indians. And they brutally torture him, they turn him into a slave, and then there's a lot of stuff going on that he ends up he ends up going to teach them to fight and do stuff. Leads them on a raid against their great hey, Star Wars theology, their great enemies, probably the Osage or like the Shoshones or the Blackfeet or the Crow. And he does a sun dance. Here's the question: you ever see a sun dance? You know what it is? A pole sticking up the ground, higher than 12 feet. There are ropes, probably made of leather, coming down. There are pieces of bone at the end of each. They're like needles. Indian girls would stand and cut bits of flesh off of their arms to do a sacrifice. What the Braves would do is you'd have these ropes coming down, and they would stick the needles in their chest like this, and then lean back. Or, Richard Harris's character did this, got hoisted up off his feet, and they would hang there till they fell off. Then they'd have a vision. That was basically when you saw the lizard go up his nose, that vision quest, that was basically kind of alluding to the Sundance. Not in a way, but there are many different ways that they would go to go and have their visions. But yeah, and A Man Called Horse is a good movie. I suggest you watch it. The train scene. Lawrence of Arabia. One of the greatest movies ever made. Okay, it has nothing to do with Dances with Wolves. But these people don't want to hear that, okay? Because they don't know cinema, okay? They've never seen anything that's more than probably 30, 40 years old, okay? Thank you, Jay. So I'm like, I don't get it. But there is going to be a lot of stuff going on. And the fact that Han is showing up doesn't mean we're not going to get another big surprise. Okay? They might be holding something way back that is absolutely stunning. Okay? And we got the naysayers. So I'm going to tell you, if you haven't seen this movie, this show, and you're listening to them, watch it anyway. Get their convoluted black pill out of your head. They literally live in the past, and they can't deal with anything that's going to contradict them. They need things to be awful. Again, they're the CNN for Lower Deck. They're the Lower Decks CNN. They're and it's like, it's not that they're putting disinformation out. They're not putting the correct information out. Okay? Who wants to go watch 4 or 5 guys sit around in a circle on Fridays and do that? And sit and dwell on the past like it's the here and now. Okay? Without, they think they lose money. But I have seen a lot of people coming forward in different places. Yeah, they have become what they hate. Well, they're they're sick. There's that was episode 5 was fantastic. That was that was a beautiful piece of filmmaking. I mean, you know, but see, there's an illness going through this whole thing, and it has to stop. I've had way too many people tell me it's time for them to stop being so negative, and they search out channels that aren't. There's a reason why Star Wars Theory is the biggest. All right, somehow he has managed to get a lot of different viewpoints out there, and there you go. Well, it is a grift, I think. It really is. I mean, it's, you know, oh yeah, that was really cool. But, you know, if you hear people talking about, hey, you guys are way too negative, you know, tell me about it. And tell those people that. Tell, well, that was, look, they want to make everybody hate everything so they make money. And they feel personally insulted, which is like, you gotta let that go. Again, you know, you gotta let that go. You have to let it go. You have to let 2018, 2015, 2016, 2017, all that go. Okay? You gotta let it go. And the reason is this: it's hurting you as a person to sit there and constantly think nothing has changed when you can see it if you open up your eyes. Yeah. I mean, like I said yesterday on my rant, she is not coming back. I don't care. I defended her. I said my piece. All right? I don't particularly care for the woman right now. I'm sick of hearing about her. And the reason is I think she knew she was going to be, in fact, I think it was out there. I think she already knew. I think she'd already been told. Okay? That's what I think. I really, really do. Because, and the reason why I say that, why is she on Ben Shapiro so fast? Why? She already had the deal. She already had the deal. And I should say, I really wish that the truth had come out about what really happened. All right? And like I said, loyalty is everything. But if it comes out that she knew and those guys were trying to save their show, which they put on her shoulders, and she kept doing this stuff, I gotta say, I got nothing more to say to her. I'm done. And the reason why is because you dance with the boy who brung you. Okay? No one, and I've said this before, and I would say this to her staunchest defenders, you wouldn't know who she was without Favreau and Filoni. You wouldn't. All right? Sure, she was that strong female character that they were gonna, build the show around. All right? And I'm pretty sure she was told to stop it. And I'm pretty sure she was told by Dave and John to stop it. Okay? She didn't want to come back. Why would you intentionally keep doing that if you knew you were going to lose your job? I mean, I believe in free speech. She had every right to say what she said. I agree 100%. And I agree completely that there is a double standard. But that's the way it was back then. Okay? That is the way it was back then. So, Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. And you know, she knew what she was doing. You can say whatever you want, but you gotta face the consequences. Well, I don't want Lucy Lawless. I mean, she's too old. I think the chick who played the female Tuscan would be fine. Joanna Bennett. I'm sure that the haters would scream that she's blonde, you know? But you could easily work around. Yeah, but she's kind of old, Jay. You know? I wouldn't recast. I mean, I would and I wouldn't. You recast her, her staunch defenders, and the people who use her for attention would freak. You create Rangers of the New Republic around a new character and leave her out. Fine. All right, you go on. Again, she's in the past. Let it go. You know? No, yeah, go. There's a show about Tuscan biology. I want you to go. I want you to go and check it out. No, I would have it be a human. I mean, Ahsoka's enough. I would have it be, I would come up with a new character and have Joanna Bennett play the role because she's cool. And she really is a badass. No shit, she's a stunt woman. Okay? So anyway, but I gotta go, and Doomcock just dropped a video about Han. So get your butts over there to watch it. I will talk to you guys later, and I'm leaving this up, and I have no fucks to give. Okay? And I'm going to be calling people out. They need to let us enjoy this. The world is a shitty place right now, and I want to enjoy something. Okay? I want to enjoy something. Yeah, just look it up on, just put the history of the Tuscans on a search on YouTube because I can't remember who put it up there. So yeah, I gotta say, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go over to Doomcock and see what he's got to say. Talk at you.